details of court today, right? So, yesterday, the case involving the murder of J.B. Danko Edu and the suspect who was standing trial for the murder of J.B. Danko Edu, the jury was supposed to return a verdict, right, so that sentencing can be done or he can be acquitted and discharged. But that didn't happen. Why?
Yes, yesterday was a day that all of us were hoping or were looking out for that decision from the jury, a 7-member jury panel. And in fact, from day one, this incident happened on the 8th of February, 2016. That was when it was alleged that Daniel Esiedu killed J.B. Danko Edu, the member of parliament at the time of Abuakwa North. He was arrested. And then since his arrest, he's still been in custody till now. And then sometime in 2021, that was when his plea was taken after his lawyers made a request that looking at the way he was behaving, the court should order for some mental examination for him. That was done. The psychiatrist in the matter declared him fit, that he's somebody who is sound, who is fit to stand trial. Then the trial commenced. Prosecution led by Mrs. Salifu Amoako, Principal State Attorney, called 8 witnesses to make their case. And at the end, he noticed that when the case started, Daniel Esiedu and Vincent Bosu, there were 2 who were in court. The 2 were charged for conspiracy to commit crime to wit robbery. Then Daniel Esiedu alone was facing the charge of robbery and then murder. When prosecution closed its case, the court held that no prima facie evidence has been established against Vincent Bosu, and the 2 of them effectively did not conspire. So they were acquitted on that count, on that charge of conspiracy. Right. Then Daniel Esiedu alone was to respond to the charge of robbery and murder. There were a lot of delays. There were a lot of issues that had delayed the case. There were mini trial because he was challenging, protesting against the statement given to the police. He said that he was coerced, he was forced to print some of the statement. And the only statement that he remembered he gave was only one. But in fact, in all of it, we were told that he gave about 10 statements to the police. All of them came to court. So yesterday, it was an interesting turn of events. He himself did not call any witness. He testified, but did not call any witness. We know the story that he has told, how he managed to go to a commercial sex joint, and all that, and how it came about, how he was arrested, went to Dampare, and all of those issues came to play. So yesterday, in fact, Lantam, it was a very, very long day. According to my word, the case was called at 9:44 a.m. And then the jury returned with their verdict after 5:30. According to my watch, it was 5:27. That was when they came back for the second time, and then their decision was given. So what happened was that prosecution led by Mrs. Salifu Amoako took the jury, addressed them on all the case that the prosecution has for them, the testimony of all the 8 witnesses who came to court, the evidence that they have submitted, the DNA report that they have put before the court, returning 100% DNA of Daniel Esiedu, and all the pieces of evidence, the knife, and all the things that they wanted to make the case that they have been able to make a case for which reason the jury should return a guilty verdict against Daniel Esiedu. Yao Dankwa, who is the defense counsel, the lead counsel for Daniel Esiedu, also gave his address to the police, the jury, Amatse, and said, look, we have looked at all the evidence and the pieces of exhibit put before the court, and the kind of evidence that prosecution had used by 8 witnesses. They think that there were some of the witnesses or people who really were key to the matter who should have been called. For instance, the wife of J.B. Danko Edu. For instance, the in-law, the mother-in-law, because the court was informed that they were present in the house when the incident happened. And some 3 police officers that were told that when the incident happened came to the house. And that the identity of those police officers, Yadankwa is saying that it's unknown. And so the real people who committed the acts rather are walking free on the street. And so Daniel Esiedu should not be convicted. So the jury should return a not guilty verdict. Justice Lydia Amoako also took turns to address, in fact, to sum up the whole trial. And the summing up of the trial, it's a whole lot. From day one, all the incident, all the event that took place, witnesses who came to the court, what they said, the comparison, the differences, and then the inconsistencies. He drew out all those differences and pointed out the direction what the jurors are supposed to look at, the elements that the prosecution is supposed to prove, and if there's any doubt, what they are supposed to do. If there's no doubt, what they are supposed to do. Then at sometime around 4:41, that was when the jury retired. That was when the summing up ended, and the jury, they retired to go and consider their decision. And last time they went in there, and after 20 minutes, they came back after 20 minutes. 5:01. They left 4:41, and they came back at 5:01, 20 minutes exactly. And when they came, they said they wanted some clarification. And the clarification was that they wanted to know if it was 5:2, 5:1, and 4:3, what is the implication? So the judge came back again, took them through all that they need to do. They went back again, and at 5:27, they came back. And when they came back, jury, the foreman, do you have a decision? They said yes. So what is the decision? Let's start from robbery. So we say our decision or our verdict on the charge of robbery is 4-3, not guilty for Daniel Esiedu. Then the court asked, so what about the verdict for murder? The foreman said 4-3, the same 4-3, not guilty for Daniel Esiedu. And in effect, what the law says is that for somebody to be convicted for such an offense, it has to be 7-0, 6-1, or 5-2. Once it is 4-3, it means there is no decision. There is no legally acceptable decision that the court will have to adopt. And so it is a hung jury, and the court will have to order for a retrial. So yesterday, Daniel Esiedu's fate day came, but there was an inconclusive outcome. There's a hung jury, and for that matter, Justice Lydia Amoako has ordered for a retrial. And the case has been adjourned to the 20th of December for mentioning. But Lantam, lawyer for Daniel Esiedu, Yao Dankwa, has a message, in fact, about how he sees the verdict of the jury. Let's hear him.
I'm so grateful today that the prosecution came to say that my client is guilty of committing this heinous crime. Now, 4 of the jurors believe our story, believe our defense, and the other 3 seem to, support what the prosecution are saying. And now it is now a hung jury. My client is still not convicted of any crime, and no court has convicted him. He's an innocent person who has been languishing in custody for nearly 9 years. February 8 will be 9 years since his incarceration, and all he's doing is fighting for his freedom. And I think we have done a very good job. We've done everything any lawyer will do. And today, though we wish that we'll get 5-2 or 6-1 or unanimous decision, but a 4-3 means that we have a bit of a majority, but except that the law doesn't accept 4-3. If the law accepts 4-3, today my client will be walking home.
Dankwa, clearly, yes. Your lawyer Dankwa there, the law doesn't accept 4-3. So 4-3 means that there should be a retrial. So that is what happened yesterday in relation to Daniel Esiedu's case. But of course, people are asking, so what has become of Daniel Esiedu? The jury is saying that he's not guilty. Is he still in remand? Yesterday, lawyer Yao Dankwa made an oral bail application, but the court said, go and come formally. Let's hear from lawyer Yao Dankwa on that.
The law under section 286 says that once the jury cannot return a majority verdict or unanimous verdict, and the accused person more or less is not convicted, is entitled to ask for bail. And that is a prayer that I made in court today for bail, and the judge said I should come formal. And so we are going to take instructions and then put our application in.
So lawyer Dankwa says they are going to look at it and they will put the application for bail. So yesterday, Justice Lydia Osemafo asked that Daniel Esiedu is still kept in remand or in prison's custody. But yesterday, NAM1, for the first time I saw the relative of JB Dankwa Edu in court. Did I call you NAM1? Oh my goodness.
You just called me NAM1. Please, I beg you.
No, probably NAM1 is one of the cases.
NAM1 is one of the cases I know.
We discuss.
I know.
So it's
I know
always
you are
ringing in my
waiting
mind.
You just called
A
me
lot will
NAM1.
happen in that case. Yesterday, the family of JB Dankwa Edu were in court. For the first time, me personally have been following that case all along, but I saw them in court. And the brother of JB Dankwa Edu was in court, and yesterday he was disappointed with the outcome of the decision. Let's hear him.
Unfortunately, this is a sad day for the country and indeed for myself and my brother and my family. After 8 years of this case going on and my brother's painful death, the government, and in this case the Attorney General's office, was not able to put up a strong case to convince a jury of 7 to convict Asiedu of robbery and of murder. I think it is quite sad that this has happened to us. It's a painful moment and a painful day for myself, for my brother, and I believe also for all the family members and the children of my late brother.
Captain, so
yes,
that's the brother of JB Dankwa.
Yes, so that is GHOne Edu, the brother of JB Dankwa Edu. So yesterday he was in court to see what was going to happen.
GHOne Edu.
Absolutely. Yesterday to see what was going to happen.
Independent presidential candidate.
Yes,
right?
he's also seeking for election to the national office. Yesterday he was in court, and clearly, like you heard him say, they were not happy with the outcome. But of course, there's going to be a retrial, and that the hope that there will be some finality to that. You notice that a similar case happened in the case of Gregory Afoko, and Gregory Afoko is still in court facing the retrial. And this case had lasted for 8 years and 10 months. On the 8th of February, and the 8th of this month, December, will be exactly 8 years and 10 months when this incident happened. But the trial actually started in 2021, so that was about 5-year period and all that. So
8 years and 10 months.
Yes, when the incident happened.
After the death of JB Dankwa Edu, we still do not have finality to the matter.
So that is it for Daniel Esiedu.
All right. So we'll see how the retrial plays out. But let's talk about some of the cases coming up in court today. Now you can talk about NAM1. NAM1 and Bishop Salifu Amoako.
Yes, so NAM1 is expected in court today. For some time now, I've been telling you about the fact that he has a motion pending, and that motion is supposed to ensure that he is asking the court to put the trial on hold because he wants to challenge the decision of the High Court for him to open his defense at the Court of Appeal. And on that matter, he wants the High Court to put the trial on stay proceedings as he goes to the Court of Appeal to challenge that. But that motion is yet to be moved. At the last court sitting, there were certain processes that were filed, but the court did not say. So it has been adjourned to today. So today, NAM1 and his lawyers led by Kwame Akufo-Boafo, and of course prosecution, the director of public prosecution, and then the team will also be in court because prosecution did oppose to that particular request, and they will know more about that. And they asked about Salifu Amoako.
Yes, Salifu Amoako now.
Salifu Amoako, Bishop Salifu Amoako, and then the wife.
Yes.
And then one other, Linda Owusu-Bempah. They are in court in relation to the charge of permitting unlicensed person to drive. At the last court sitting, case management conference was expected, but the prosecution was still to complete their filing the processes or disclosures, and the hope is that today they should be able to file for the court presided over by His Honor Mr. Samuel Bryce Akwa to conduct a case management conference. Then there will be a case management completion plan. Then trial date is fixed for that to happen. So these are effectively some of the cases that we should look at for today, and more that will happen. There are a lot of cases that will come up. Some that you don't know, you're just moving around and you chance on them.
Well, we'll wait and see. Thank you very much, Captain Murtala Inusah.